Okay, so now that we really have all the background information, how to draw angles, what quadrant they fall into, and then how to find their reference angles, and then develop those sine, cosine, and tangents of the 30, 60, 90s. This is really what I'm going to expect out of you guys. You're going to have 3 or 4 problems like this where the directions would say find the exact value. And for this first example that I'm going to step you through is find the exact value of tangent of 315 degrees. So we do have steps up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll explain those as I go. And then at the very end, I will highlight the things that I'm looking for you to be able to get full points. If you just write an answer on this, you will not get the points for this, and these are going to be about 3 or 4 point problems each. So the first thing you want to do is figure out where the heck this angle is. So you create your coordinate plane, I apologize, and create 315. So angle 315, starting here, moving positively, you're 180, 270, we're past 270, but we are not up to 360. So we are down here. We then create the right triangle with that x-axis. So from the angle, you just draw up to your x-axis. And now I'll just go ahead and make that whole triangle red for us. And here's our right triangle. We need to know our reference angle. That's the first piece of information, I guess second piece. First, I'm looking that you've drawn the ray in the right quadrant. And now that you have found the right reference angle. So that reference angle, 315 up to 360, would be 45 degrees is what's missing. So this is going to be a 45, 45, 90. So now the next thing I'm looking for is that you've memorized your special right triangles. The hypotenuse is always 1, and therefore our side lengths, root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. Now that we have all of this, it gets quite easy. We know we're doing a tangent, so therefore we can build our fraction. So like up, if you're looking at the steps, step 1, determine the reference angle. We've already done that. Create your right triangle and find the exact value. So this, find the exact value is for tangent. So tangent is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is the root 2 over 2. And again, we're always going from that reference angle. So opposite of this reference angle is root 2 over 2. Adjacent is root 2 over 2. Anything divided by itself is just 1. So we already know that our answer is going to be 1. So after we build that fraction, we simplify it. R simplified to be 1. And the very last step, step 4, determine what the correct sign is. The sign chart for this is up here, and you're welcome to memorize it this way. But we do have a couple different sayings that we like to use here at our school. You build a quadrant, and you always list, just like you would list your quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're starting in quadrant 1, and you'd say all students take calculus, or perhaps you might like add sugar to coffee. Either way, these are little tricks to help you remember what this means. So in the first quadrant, capital A is saying that all of them are going to be positive. And if you notice in your chart, in the first quadrant, positive, positive, positive. The second quadrant, it has a capital S. That's standing for sine. So sine's the only one positive in this one. Sine is positive here, meaning, and then again, look in your chart, in quadrant 2, we've got a positive sine and cosecant, and cosine and tangent are then the negatives. So similarly, tangent in the third is the only one positive, cosine in the fourth is the only one positive. So if we had found, now tangent is, for our problem, we need to figure out, is it one supposed to be positive 1 or negative 1? So we say, okay, well, we know we're in the fourth quadrant, down here. In the fourth quadrant, IV, how about? And therefore, we look and we see that cosine is the only thing that's supposed to be positive in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, we need to throw a negative sign in front of this, and we have our final answer. Tangent of 315 degrees equals -1. So that should give you enough information. The things that I'm going to be looking for on your test would be a correct reference angle, a triangle drawn within the correct quadrant to start off with. Once you know that quadrant, that reference angle, you fill in the correct side lengths. Then, looking at your trigonometric function, you build the correct fraction. So ours was tangent, so we did opposite over hypotenuse. Then, did you simplify it correctly? For ours, we simplified and got 1. And finally, did you apply your all students take calculus or add sugar to coffee to get the final correct value? So I hope this helps. Good luck. There are a couple more I will step through in another video.